Hi, I just want to say some words about the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings, which is today. Now, I'll be honest, I actually thought this commemoration would be a little bit more low key than the 75th, simply because there's a lot fewer veterans around now. Um, but interestingly, there was quite a few things going on. There have been today. I'm going to watch news on the hour. I watched some of the events yesterday. BBC One done quite a evocative program in the evening from the Bayeux Cemetery. I've been watching The Longest Day, Saving Private Ryan. Just paused Saving Private Ryan actually. Um, that's a film. Whenever I watch it, I always thought the storyline was a bit questionable. However, it is a powerful film, and the scenes are very memorable. I understand that veterans themselves have said those opening sequences were very realistic. Um, there's not really too much to say today, without being overly sentimental about it, but it's profoundly moving. You know, um, the events I watched last night, they done this sort of drone display from Portsmouth, which sort of made the patterns of landing craft, of Spitfires, and so on. It was very well done. That sort of technology couldn't have been used even in the recent past, like in the 1994 50th anniversary commemorations. I think as time goes on, the number of veterans will inevitably dwindle. These guys are now 98, 99, 100, and they're the youngest ones. They were the guys who were 18, 19, 20 at the time. So inevitably, with human longevity, it's going to dwindle. I don't think, for example, the 85th will be a big commemoration. I think this will be the last one on a big scale. So for that reason, it's pretty significant. 30 veterans went over on the ferries to France. Of course, the King, apparently he insisted on going despite his own health situation. Rishi Sunak, Emmanuel Macron. Um, I assume there would have been an American representative, Canadian representative, and other allied representatives. So there's a lot of things to say about D-Day. It was by no means the deadliest battle of World War II, but apparently, proportionally speaking, for the Allies, it was as bad as World War One in terms of the proportionality, which I didn't actually realise. We know that 4,414 men died on D-Day itself, but the casualties of the whole Normandy campaign were many times more than that. And sometimes that's forgotten. D-Day is evocative because of the beach landings. Uh, you know, Sword, Juno, Gold, Omaha, Utah, those names will forever ring poignant. But the campaign itself, there was some very intense fighting a little bit further inland around Cannes and elsewhere. Um, and that should be remembered. Also, there's one aspect of the campaign which is somewhat uncomfortable to consider, but it's important. Thousands and thousands of civilians died, and the truth is, a lot of them died in Allied bombing. But the remarkable thing is, the French people don't feel bitterness about that. Saint-Lô especially was very heavily hit because they looked at the bigger picture that it was part of the campaign to liberate France. Um, but that's a reality. Civilians died in Allied bombings. Um, I'm just going to round this off, really. I'm sure there's a lot to say about this day, but I'm just going to round it off by saying I think there are echoes in the world today. I was going to make a video on the continuing rising tensions with Russia, particularly with recent developments, and I'll probably make that separately. But for me, D-Day symbolises a few things. Of course, the horror of war, yes, but also, very importantly, and more so than World War One, I think it represents the necessity of taking on totalitarianism. So yes, there's an aspect that war is hell. There's no way to gloss that over. But I also think that appeasing tyranny is not a pacifist position, and those young men who landed on the beaches, they knew that. I think there are echoes in Europe today. I really do. But that's for another video. So for me, yes, it's about the carnage of war, but also about the importance of freedom and standing up for democracy. These are not small things. Anyway, D-Day 80 years on.